Howdy, I'm AutoEdits Jason, that's Pinto the dog, and this is the 1973 Mustang we've been calling Large Marge here on the channel. It's been 5 long years since this thing's been on the road, but we're driving it. Come along, let me tell you about this thing and show you what it's got. Come on up, let's go. Pinto's new trick, even though I put a bunch of blankets back there for her, her new trick is to want to run in the front seat with me. And I like it. So let's first quickly talk about how emotional and how tough the struggle was for the last 5 years to get this thing actually back on the road. And it was tough. Some of you have been along the ride and have been watching videos of the buildup of this thing in my garage. And to those of you that are new, welcome. This is Large Marge, the 73 Mustang on the road. Me and my dog, my co-dog. Good girl. Hi, buddy. So let's first talk about the elephant or the obvious thing in the room, and that's how silly loud I made this thing. And look, as I was building that exhaust, it just seemed like a good idea at the time, and I thought rowdy was gonna be fine. And it kind of is, but it is loud. So as you can see, it's really quite easy to drive around, and that was a little bit surprising to me. I kind of anticipated, you know, when you're putting a bunch of parts on a car in your garage, it gets a little, like you kind of hope for the best for some of them. You do your research, and then you just kind of hope for the best. And so far, this thing is actually very docile to drive around town. Everything is so easy. Hear that? Right, buddy? It's so good. It's such a great feeling to be out on the road with this thing and to have so many things just working together so far. Knock on wood. I keep waiting for something to go wrong, but so far it just is really fun. It's rowdy, but yet very easy to drive. The Terminator right now, I have not done any tuning to it whatsoever. It's just in that I'm just letting it do whatever the self-learn mode is, and it's just doing that. I know there's some left on the table. I can feel it in the tune, but to just plug and play and just start driving is great. And I'll go more in depth on that as I learn more. I don't know what I'm doing. I open my laptop to kind of tweak with the thing, and everything just looks fine to me. And like I say, I know enough to tweak the fans, to tweak the idle, which is a fun adjustment. And that's it right now, just letting it run. And you can hear we're just cruising along in city traffic just fine. It's nice to have this level of drivability. You can hear that just off of a kind of a lugging idle, feed it throttle, it just goes. There's not a ton of power here without the supercharger. We'll get that on in future videos, but it's nice to just be able to have the thing running and driving, and it's got just enough power to make things interesting, but it's not like scary, powerful, or fast. What did a 94, 95 Cobra have? What? 250 horsepower. I don't even know if it had that much. So there's not a lot of horsepower here. But the EFI, the Terminator, super nice. Cold starts, really nice off idle driving around town. So can't complain at all. this thing. I was really worried that because it was so loud in here, she would be freaking out all the time, but not only is she not in the back with all her blankets, she's up front enjoying the drive. That's how you know you did it right. And you got lucky with a good dog. It's now time to drop Pinto off at the house and take this in for an alignment, and then I'll take you up into the canyons for our first canyon thrash with this thing. I'm really excited. So let's get Pinto home and get this thing to the alignment shop, and I'll bring you underneath so you can see a little bit of what's going on under there, how it's looking so far. All right, we're here at my local tire shop, and it's good to get a technician that is not afraid of an older car. So I finally got a guy who's helping me out here. So this place is called Mike and Nick's now, but I've been coming here since I was a kid. My Maverick, my very first car, I had bought tires and they did them here. And now it's called Mike and Nick, and that's Mike right there. He's a young dude, and they're the new owners, and they're really cool. I gotta tell you, honestly, in this town, I took the Mustang to a couple different spots and got turned away. Even the Pep Boys that I go to right across the street here for a lot of parts, and they're really helpful. Their service department was like, no, we can't do this because of they don't have the specs for this car. When I handed them the specs, I just literally wrote on the paper what I wanted, and George is in there knocking it out of the park. So I don't know. Anyway, Mustang's going very well. I'm looking at the specs right now. He's darn close. All right, I don't want to jinx it right now, but it's going really good. George has kind of figured it out like this. This is why when you get a car guy working on your car in a shop, it's good. So literally we're almost doing this in real time. This is how fast and easy this adjustment is, and he's getting it like right away. So we're almost dialed in. We are dialed in for caster. He's gonna do a tweak on the camber and then tow it. I mean, this is going great so far. I love it when a plan comes together. So having the double adjustable shocks has been really, really nice. So on the back here, just because instinct, I've adjusted the shock, the upper shock mount from more directly straight up and giving a linear, leverage against the shock. I've actually got it on the all the way inside bolt on both sides, and I'm loosening up or decreasing the dampening. So the dampening, I'm going to make it so it's a little bit more compliant. It's very stiff back here, so I'm going to take one more turn out of the dampening, and I'll leave the rebound alone for now. It's part of the fun of dialing in a brand new suspension. So he's now dialing in toe in, not toe out. We're doing toe in to make it a little bit more stable down the highway. Toe out would make it more aggressive for turn in like a race car on a track, but I want this thing to be a long highway cruiser, keep it really friendly for fast driving down cross country. All right, we're done. George hit it out of the park. I took it for a quick test drive, and drives great. It's nice to have a little bit of positive caster in there, so now it wants to come in center. So when I get a little sporty, it centers up good. There she is, ready to rock, ready for the next phase of this vehicle's life. So this is our first trip into the mountains with it aligned and I guess ready to attack. And it's so good! Oh my god, it's just like already. Jeez Louise. I'm feeling like a lap belt is insufficient right now. All right, this is a doing it absolutely incredibly well. You're going way too fast through there. Oh my gosh. So here's a really amazing, wow, this thing is great. I'm finding it hard to talk because this thing is doing so good. Wow, this thing handles amazing. I didn't expect this at all. Just with my initial suspension tweaks and tunes, like my butt dyno, what I feel like I want has worked. It's literally amazing. This road is rough, as you can see, and this car is a confusing to the senses because it rattles and makes a lot of noise, but the suspension is precise. It's such a, like, it should not be gripping there, but it does. Look at this, no bumps here. Wow. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, we did it. Boy, being able to heel toe downshift, just everything is working together. This thing, it feels better than some of the newer cars I've driven on this road. Wow, I just have to take a break for a second because that is far more intense than I thought that was gonna be. This thing handles phenomenally well. I'm really, you know, half of it's luck, half of it's I'm gonna take a little bit of credit for of trusting my senses and my butt dyno on what I want and expect from the car, and have been dialing it in. You saw me dial it in during the alignment, the shocks a little bit more, and it's darn near perfect. The car just handles all of those impacts in this horrible road and is sticking. The limit to our traction up here is the G-Force Comp 2 all-season tires. Now I picked those because they were really affordable tire that I wanted to break the thing in, do all my chassis setup with something that's affordable yet still sporty and gives me or hints to where I'm going with the tuning. I didn't just want to put stickies on here and wear them out as I'm up here dialing the suspension in, so these have been perfect for that. So once I get through these and I'm already so close to suspension dial-in, then I'll go for something real sticky. So we'll see what we end up going for. I want to put a wider tire in the rear. I have a 275 in the rear on this thing. I'm thinking of going to a 285, 295. There's plenty of room back there. So, and that's part of the dial-in process. So this is proving to be super, super rewarding. Wow. Wow! Oh my goodness gracious! That is an active experience. The Total Control Products rack and pinion, the steering is absolutely dead on precise. Great feel and absolutely razor sharp turn in, and it's just remarkable to have those two things going on, where you think you're in a jalopy and it sounds like you're in a jalopy, but yet you're driving this weirdly razor sharp canyon carver. I had no idea that the dial-in process would go this smoothly. Knock on wood, I keep waiting. I have that doubt, that second guessing of myself all the time for something catastrophically to go wrong with this thing, and it hasn't yet. You know, building a car from scratch and putting so many components together, there's places that you could go wrong, and you know, and it's just part of our jobs as hot rodders to deal with that stuff. So, you know, so far we're pretty good. I know for sure the Terminator needs, the EFI needs some tuning. There's a lot to be left on the table there, but there's enough power to give me an idea of what's going on here and kick the tail out when I want to. It's a big girl, as you can see, but it doesn't feel like that on the road, and that's the biggest compliment. To have such razor sharp handling characteristics and so much bump compliance, just plain handling wise. This car is doing confoundingly well. Here, let me share with you the startup process. So we have the key over here. You have your switches to turn it on, and then watch. Let's see, make sure it's in neutral. I guess you could say it's now the Mustang Drive Your Adventure series. That was a very successful test drive. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Enjoy your drive.